follow the rules.
Ever planned a summer vacation trip with your friends, and everything went wrong and the plan got postponed so many times that it eventually became only your fantasy? That happened with Josh Boone's directorial The New Mutants, released in 2020 after 3 long years of delay. The movie had everything in line, from a fresh young cast, a creepy hospital setting, a superhero plot, and a plan to revive the popular franchise in a new avatar. Who knew that the film would face so many obstacles that its release dates would change for 5 times? Welcome back to Marvelous Videos, where we bring exciting and fun videos every day. To support our efforts, take a moment to click those like and subscribe buttons. So, what exactly happened behind the scenes? And why did the film get titled Cursed? Come, let's find out. Genesis of the New Mutants movie. Josh Boone, popularly known for directing Stuck in Love in 2012 and The Fault in Our Stars in 2014, planned to come up with something fresh and passionate, a comic book adaptation of the New Mutants by Marvel. The idea of this spin-off included the expansion of the original mutant universe. His childhood friend, Nate Lee, joined him on this voyage as a co-writer. When Simon Kinberg, writer and producer of the X-Men franchise, liked the idea presented by these two friends, he gave it the thumbs up. In 2015, Kinberg and Lauren Schuler Donner were onboarded as producers when Fox announced its deal for the New Mutants film. After Disney acquired Marvel Entertainment in 2009, Fox was left with the control of X-Men, and thus, the company planned to produce more X-Men prequels. Together with Boone, the studio envisioned a trilogy. While creating the first full draft of the script, the team consulted with Bill Sienkiewicz, one of the comic artists of the original series, who approved the new vision. According to Boone, these new films would all be supernatural horror movies. In 2016, the cast for the project was finalized, which included Game of Thrones star Maisie Williams, Anya Taylor-Joy from The Witch, Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things, along with new faces Henry Zaga and Blue Hunt. The script underwent many changes, and numerous ideas were generated and rejected at the same rate, so the identity of the primary antagonist was undefined for a long time. In 2017, the character Demon Bear was finalized as the prime antagonist. The film was supposed to be released in 2018, but was delayed because of the planned reshoots. At the same time, Disney initiated the process of acquiring 20th Century Fox. After completing this process, Boone completed the film without reshoots in 2020. The production studio expected commercial success and franchise expansion from the New Mutants, similar to Deadpool, released in 2016. Casting and initial production. The pre-production process commenced in April 2017 in Massachusetts at the abandoned Medfield State Hospital. This place was earlier used for filming Shutter Island in 2009. The same month, Fox Studios officially declared that Anya Taylor-Joy would play Illyana Rasputin and Maisie Williams as Wolfsbane. The characters of Professor X and actress Alexandra Shipp-Storm were cut from the film's writing. Boone decided to save the character of Colossus, Illyana's brother, for future films and did not include him in the New Mutants. He envisioned this film as a full-fledged horror film set in the X-Men universe, without costumes and supervillains. In June 2017, Henry Zaga was confirmed to play Sunspot. Charlie Heaton was selected to play the character of Sam Guthrie, and Blue Hunt as Moonstar. Alice Braga joined the project as Cecilia Reyes after the original choice, Dawson, exited. In addition to Massachusetts, the film was also shot in Lynn, Weymouth, and Millis. After filming, Boone mentioned the weird incidents on the film set. He claimed every single member of his crew experienced some strange things while they were at the now abandoned mental hospital. The place has an unsettling history. The environment of that hospital was creepy and eerie. The crew felt uncomfortable roaming around at night. Strange scents lingered inside the hospital building, and the air around was always uneasy, which added to the film's dark tone. Could some negative force be present there, eager to debut in the film? Creative clashes and studio interference. Boone hoped the film would be a genuine and pure horror. The Fox studio invited more writers, including Carrie Hayes, Josh Zetumer, Seth Graham-Smith, and Chad, to divert from Boone's idea of pure horror. These new writers molded the script, and a compromise came out, giving the film a more young adult tone, respecting a PG-13 rating. The film avoided excessive scares and blood, completely changing its original tone. The decision was taken because of X-Men Apocalypse's commercial and critical disappointment in 2016. Originally, the New Mutants was intended to be loosely linked to the X-Men timeline, but after Apocalypse's failure, Fox Studios' confidence in continuing its its 1980s set saga weakened. It resulted in shifting New Mutants' timeline from the 1980s to the present day. The reports from the set disclosed that Boone was forced to tone down the violence by the production house to avoid an R rating. He was also obligated to shoot the content written in the script according to the contract. The situation became complex after the release of It, the highest-grossing horror movie of all time, which created a wave at the box office. Fox Studios decided to ride that wave and released the first teaser trailer for the film, focusing more on its horror elements. It received a fairly positive response, but now they found themselves in trouble. They promised a genuine horror film through this teaser trailer of the New Mutants, but all they had on the record was young adult drama. To fulfill what they had committed through the trailer, the studio decided to reshoot and postpone the release date to February 22nd, 2019. These proposed reshoots including reshooting about 50% of the film and also the addition of many new characters. This extra work pushed the date further into August 2019, and now the studio had to create a film that was as close to Boone's original vision of pure horror film as possible. Delays, reshoots, and the Disney-Fox merger. Despite Fox Studios' planning of reshoot schedules, the film dangled in the air without any substantial advancement. Another obstacle arose with the eventual legal entanglement of the merger of 20th Century Fox Studios and Disney. Kinberg announced that the reshoot would start in late 2018 and believed that the audience was excited to see a superhero or a comic book movie that was pristine horror. However, no progress was made because nobody agreed on what should be included in the additional shooting. Despite the merger in March 2019, no decision about the reshoot was made. About 250 people from Fox's film division were fired, and many upcoming projects under its name were canceled. The release dates of the completed films were moved. The uncertainty in the air grew so thick that rumors began circulating that the film would be released on Disney-owned OTT platforms instead of the big screen. Another delay to the release was announced by Disney and was scheduled for April 3rd, 2020, yet Kinberg reaffirmed that reshoots would begin in late 2019. According to a report by Variety, Disney was unimpressed with the New Mutants and believed the film had limited potential to fetch a crowd at the ticket counters, yet Disney invited Boone to assist with the film's final editing. COVID-19 and the final release. The New Mutants was planned to be released in April 2020. A month before, Boone declared that the film was complete and there would be no reshoots. Besides that, the Fox-Disney merger had postponed things a lot, and according to Boone, the cast of the film had aged compared to the principal photography. Thus, the reshoots cannot be utilized in editing and visual effects. Although they had changed a few minor things, the film remained the same as the first cut Boone had created without any major modification. But this was not the end of the New Mutants' bumpy road to release. The event that brought the world to a standstill hit in March 2020. The theaters were closed due to the pandemic, and Disney removed the pending film from its release slate. In August, when theaters were allowed to sell tickets again, Fox confirmed the New Mutants would finally see daylight in theaters and urged the fans to buy the tickets. After the legacy of delays and obstacles, the film finally landed on the big screen on August 28, 2020. Reception and legacy. Despite facing lengthy delays, planned changes in the story that never got reshot, interference from the production studio, and the merger of Fox-Disney, The New Mutants was released during the chaotic and depressing environment of the pandemic. The conflicting visions of Boone and Fox Studios impacted the film to a great level, diverting the story far away from the 1982 X-Men comic. The film also struggled with its identity as a full-fledged horror or a coming-of-age drama. With a 36% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, the film had failed to do the anticipated wonders at the box office. With a $67 to $80 million budget, it only earned around $49 million worldwide. According to Variety, the film was decent, but failed to gain its own memorable personality. Josh Boone and Nate Lee have exhausted the film's first half in character development and the blooming romance between Rain and Danny. However, we see no striking connection between the two of them at all. Their tragic pasts could have been explored in depth and in a meaningful way. The film's horror elements did not work to expectations, leaving the troubled past of each mutant tone-deaf. The co-creator of the New Mutants comics, Bob McLeod, showed his disappointment with the inaccurate depiction of the characters. However, in the third act, the VFX spectacle revives the film, sparking the element of danger, but it's too late to save the overall film experience. Despite having an interesting concept at hand, director Boone opted for genericism. The problematic history of the film earned it a reputation as a jinxed project. The overall movie is studded with lost opportunities that could have given the X-Men franchise a deserving continuation of its legacy as a trilogy, but it turned out to be the 13th and the final film in Fox Studios' X-Men franchise, wrapping the legacy with a puff of air instead of a storm. Marvelous verdict. Everything that could go wrong with an ambitious creative project happened with the New Mutants film. Instead of walking like a charming showstopper on a runway of success, the film ungraciously tripped over. Just like the young mutants shown in the movie, who are trapped in a creepy hospital, the film was also trapped between release dates, producers, and conflicted visions. Director Josh Boone wanted to create a trilogy, each film with its unique horror concept. But after the first film barely survived the hike, the sequel stood no chance. So that's all for today's video. Let us know your thoughts on the New Mutants, and we'll see you in the next one.